So Hillary Clinton sat down with Fareed Zakaria. Now, by the way, why is she doing this? She's the candidate who lost in 2016. She's generally viewed as very unlikable. I don't see any positive outcome for Kamala and for the Democrats having her be out there and talking about issues. It just doesn't make sense. What I don't understand is why is Tim Walz not doing interviews every day? Obviously, the Kamala campaign doesn't want him to be doing interviews with the media every day. He should be. Everybody loves him. He's great at these interviews. He comes up with things that are really witty, things that take off, slogans, etc. Makes great points. Folksy, likable guy. Tim Walz should be out there all the time. Instead, they're hiding Tim Walz, but Hillary decided, apparently free of her own volition, I'm going to go out and talk to Fareed Zakaria about various political issues. Nothing good can come from this. Nothing good can come from this. I guess she's selling a book or whatever, but if I'm the Kamala people, I'm kind of annoyed with this. I'm kind of annoyed. Because here you have, a lightning rod in the Democratic Party coming out and exacerbating some of the fractures in the Democratic Party for her own means. So here she is talking to Fareed Zakaria. They're going to talk about the pro-Palestine protests. Oh boy, let's see what she has to say.
There were already existing groups within our country, and particularly on certain campuses like Columbia, who had talking points. They had a plan for protest and disruption. And I watched it sort of morph into something that was not student-led, even though students participated, but which had outside funding, outside direction. And I still to this day, I'm not quite sure of all that was going on with it. And a lot of students were caught up in that. And a lot of the videos on social media gave not just a one-sided view of the conflict, but a totally anti-Israel, pro-Hamas, not just pro-Palestinian view. And for me, it was distressing because, look, I have my own opinions formed over many years. I am willing to sit down and have a conversation with anybody. But it's difficult to have conversations with people who hold strong opinions with no factual and historical basis.
Oh.
And so in trying to talk to students, not just at Columbia, but elsewhere, I would be met with slogans. I would be met with attacks and, very inflammatory language. And when I would ask, well, what about, do you know what happened in 2000 at Camp David? No. Do you know what happened in 1947? No. Do you know how difficult the relationships have been? No. Do you know that there are Arab Israelis and some are serving in the IDF? None of that. And this whole chanting of, from the river to the sea. What does that mean? What river? What sea? That's what bothered me.
So she goes out there to really make the fracture within the Democratic base worse. That's what she's doing. Let's be clear. She is smearing pro-Palestine protesters on college campus. These are people who are under fire by the U.S. government. Donald Trump is campaigning on deporting these people and taking away the accreditation, hope I said that properly, of universities if they allow these people to protest. So cut off their funding as well. So there's an assault on these people. You had police brought in to crack down on the free speech of college campus protesters because they're protesting Israel. I mean, we just saw this go down. There was a massive movement on college campuses, and law enforcement came to shut it down. No free speech, no dissent, no protest, shut up. That was their take. And Hillary Clinton is going out here smearing those they don't even know anything. Please, do they know the things that I know? Do they know the history? Please. Crystal made this point the other day, and I think it's totally accurate. It's not exactly a nuanced or a complex thing that requires deep analysis or deep thought when you have innocent women and children being carpet bombed on a daily basis. In fact, at that point, I don't care about what happened before it. I know that that is wrong. Now, we can have a conversation about what happened before it, and I'm more than happy to engage in those conversations. But at the same time, it's the cult of fake nuance is what I call it, where something absolutely morally egregious and repulsive happens, and when you go, hey, that's bad, some people go, huh, really? Are you familiar with what happened in 1971 at the conference of the... And it's like, literally nothing you can say can make the carpet bombing of innocent women and children okay. There's nothing that you can say to get us to that position. So it's this like faux intellectualism. It's this faux intellectualism, the cult of fake nuance, where actually it's okay for Israel to do anything and everything they want, because if you look at the history and what the Jews have gone through, and then you have to understand that sometimes it's actually okay to carpet bomb women and children, destroy 70% of the buildings in Gaza, and cut off the food, the fuel, the water, etc., and kill human rights workers and torture people at concentration camps. Okay? It's like, you guys don't understand how fucking insufferable you sound and how dumb you sound. It's actually a very straightforward, direct, moral answer to tell people, I'm not okay with women and children being killed anywhere. 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 That's why after October 7th, we were out here flipping out. Hey, a lot of innocent people got killed. Yeah, I'm against innocent people getting killed. And then Israel's response to that is, we're going to murder 40 times the number of innocent people. And it's like, okay, now that's bad and wrong, right? So, Jesus Christ. So she's out here just before the election, shitting on protesters. But I missed the most important point. The most important point is she's accusing them of being funded by Iran. You heard it. Iran and or Russia. So here we go again, right? Here we go again. Her Russiagate 1.0 didn't work against Trump. They tried to claim, oh, Donald Trump is a puppet of Vladimir Putin. The Mueller report came out. There was no direct connection with Trump vis-a-vis Russia. Yes, there were people around Trump who were corrupt, and they sold out to a number of nations, including Turkey and many others. And that's bad, and that's wrong. But they overreached. Oh my God, the P-tape, and there were hookers pissing on Trump, and he's been a Russian asset since 1987, and whatever. Nonsense. They overreached. And then here she is again. Yeah, student protesters who are pissed off about babies being blown up on their social media every day. They're actually funded by Iran. You don't need it. We don't need Iran or Russia to come in and say, hey, you guys should be really upset about babies being carpet bombed with your money and your weapons. You don't need that. People have a natural revulsion at something like that, as they should. But this is the idea from Hillary Clinton that, like, nobody can honestly and sincerely and reasonably disagree with me, please. Actually, it's very fucking easy. Because you brought us Libya. Remember, we saw he died, and like laughing about that. By the way, how'd that work out? How'd it work out in Libya? Now, I'm no fan of Gaddafi. Gaddafi was not a good guy by any stretch of the imagination. He was a vicious dictator. At the same time, then there were open slave markets in Libya. Because you overthrew him, you didn't have a plan. Her idea is the U.S., we are the policemen of the world. We get to decide anything and everything about everybody. And oops, would you look at that? Worked fucking horribly in Iraq, worked fucking horribly in Afghanistan, worked fucking horribly in Libya, destroyed the Middle East 13 times over. Oh, did we do it to Syria too? And are we occupying a third of Syria to, quote, take the oil, as her opponent Donald Trump says? Oops, would you look at that? So enough. It's enough with this. No, there's zero evidence of protesters being funded by Iran or Hamas or Hezbollah or Russia. Zero. If you want to engage honestly, then yes, let's engage honestly. We can debate the issue. We can disagree on the issue, right? But don't you dare try to pretend like actually your opinion is outside of reasonable discussion because you're funded by Russia or Iran. And oh, would you look at that? The opinion that's outside of reasonable discussion is you're against bombing babies. Jesus Christ, man. It's just so dark. They will rationalize and justify anything Israel does. Anything they do. I mean, the stuff that the Israeli politicians are saying now, it's straight out of fucking Mein Kampf. And she's still out there defending them massively and acting like people who are opposed to it don't know anything. Unbelievable. Totally gross. All right, guys, that's the show. I love you all very much. Everybody do me a big favor. Please click like, click subscribe, all that fun stuff. You can support the show on Patreon or tip on YouTube. And I will see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.